is one of American industry's greatest challenges today, the challenge of a growing, changing, ever-expanding nation. More people, more homes, more raw materials, more jobs. How do we provide for all these things in the vastly increased quantities expected over the next few years? In 1975, it's predicted that our population will be way past 200 million. Instead of 50 million automobiles crowding our highways, there'll be 80 million or more. The output of U.S. factories will be just about double what it is now, thanks largely to automation. Our consumption of raw materials, water, electricity, petroleum, lumber, metals, and so on, will be up accordingly. All of poses some tremendous problems now occupying the attention of a great many American industrialists who feel that on their success or failure in contending with those problems under our free enterprise system may depend the continuation of our way of life. For they know that if we were to run short of food or coal or steel or any other essential item, our whole complex economy might be crippled or brought to a stop. For example, what about transportation? More specifically, truck transportation, an important element in every industry. Will it be adequate to the needs of 1975? Today, trucks handle 3 out of every 4 tons of freight moving in American commerce. They provide a market for the things we all produce, while at the same time bringing to us, in trucks designed for their own specific purposes, the things turned out by others. Everything from milk to gasoline, raw materials and finished goods, farm produce, and the output of our mines, mills, and factories. Take an agricultural product like oranges. From groves all over our orange-producing states, the fruit is rushed at the peak of quality to centrally located processing plants, and then on to consumers throughout the land. Modern transportation has helped make our food industry the marvelously efficient machine it is today, and will surely be just as vital to this industry in the years ahead.
Of course, food is just one of the many types of products hauled in this manner. Some things are hauled in almost no other way. For example, household effects. The moving van has become familiar on every highway and byway, as it goes about its job of transporting a family's most personal possessions swiftly and safely, any distance, door to door. In fact, this service is even better than door to door. Most moving companies now will come in and pack your goods, transport them, then unpack them again at the other end. Generally, the big intercity moving vans are owned and operated by local businessmen who band together in nationwide associations in this free economy of ours, only in order to link every corner of the country, making it possible for a family to move easily from any point to any other point. Not only does the trucking industry thus extend its own services into every county of the U.S., it similarly extends the services of other types of carriers. By making the original pickup or the final delivery, trucks also make it possible for every one of us to use carriers that, unlike trucks, cannot go everywhere. Let's follow this truck, loaded with lumber, to its destination. A factory in which homes are being mass-produced on a Detroit-style assembly line basis. This one company produces roughly 1 out of every 50 new homes being built in this country today, and watching them, it's not hard to see how they do it. As America grows at a rate that's almost explosive, such techniques for providing the housing we'll be needing are bound to be expanded. And of course, truck transportation really makes this operation possible. For trucks not only bring in the raw materials, they also carry the mass-produced elements of each new home directly to the construction site. one trailer, the makings for one house. And thus far, in the company's comparatively short history, it has delivered more homes than there are in all of San Francisco or Minneapolis. Well over 25,000 cities and towns are served by no means of transport other than trucks. This full cargo, of course, is headed for one destination, so there is virtually no routing problem. But in the case of less than full cargo freight shipments, complex systems have been worked out to eliminate delays and keep the merchandise speeding on its way. Truck terminals at key locations all across the country permit the regrouping of consignments bound for the same destination aboard the same trucks. Here also is done the maintenance work on the rolling stock. Maintenance work that minimizes the chance of delays caused by breakdowns en route. Here, too, the companies carry on the employee training programs that give the industry its widespread and well-deserved reputation for safety and courtesy. Among industrial executives, an important fact of life is the way in which our booming population is dispersing itself to the suburbs and beyond. Many millions of our citizens have fled the noise, the congestion, and other inconveniences of city life in order to set up housekeeping in homes of their own out in the wide open spaces beyond the water main. These Americans on the move have also taken enthusiastically to a new way of shopping. And millions of our citizens not only live in the country now, they work there too. In factories and offices built way out where even 50 or 100-acre plants are economically feasible. Many of these industrial plants and the housing projects and shopping areas that depend on them for economic sustenance can be served only by highway, by automobile, bus, and truck. This is a trend that is expected to continue. Already, a motorist driving from Boston to Washington will see very little open countryside. He passes almost continuously through interconnected communities. In effect, it's one big, long strip city. Students of city growth tell us that as the flight to the suburbs continues, the nation's population will be heavily concentrated in 14 such strip cities. One will extend from St. Louis up to Chicago and Milwaukee, then over to Detroit, down to Toledo, and east to Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Another from San Francisco and Sacramento down to Los Angeles and San Diego. A third from Jacksonville to Orlando, then branching out down both the east and west coasts of Florida.
Since 1951, 8 out of every 10 new factories put up have been built on sites away from the large cities. The trend is on, and in the years to come, the demands to be placed on the trucking industry can hardly be exaggerated. For just this one factory, for example, try to imagine how many thousands of truck deliveries will be necessary to keep its machines turning and its employees on the payroll. One reason industries and families often give for moving to the wide open spaces is to get away from congestion. But only through proper and adequate planning by industry can they avoid taking congestion with them. Industrial executives know better than most people, perhaps, that good circulation is as important to the community as it is to the human body. Provisions for good circulation are being made in projects like New York's Lincoln Square and other well-thought-out developments. parking, adequate access roads, separation of local and through traffic. These are just a few of the ways of assuring that a new industrial park or shopping center, or even a whole community, will reach its full potential. People must be able to travel quickly and easily from home to work, to shops, to schools, to recreation, and to see each other professionally and socially. Goods must move quickly and inexpensively to and from the outside world, from warehouse to retailer to consumer, and also from factory to factory. If they can't move, all the promises our system holds for 1975 could come to nothing. Our expanded population would only mean less of everything for everybody rather than more. Many shiny new communities without adequate traffic planning could become the slums of the future. On the outskirts of almost any city in the country, you'll find places where it's happening already. Who, for example, wants to sit out on one of these front lawns? Industry, as always in any sphere affecting the development of our country, takes the initiative in seeing to it that the built-in blights are eliminated in advance while there's still time. No one appears to have all the answers to the problems facing a country expanding as rapidly as ours. But industry is doing its utmost to find those answers. You can be sure the answers will be found, and that the changing face of a truly free America will be worthy of the rich promise of the future.